Hey y'all, I am Shantaria Burden, and this is Tari B Talks, episode number 1. Woo! So this episode, it focuses on the topic self-preservation. I mentioned it in the pilot a little bit, and I thought that it would be good to bring that into the first episode and just kind of hone in on that. So before we get into the details of self-preservation and experiences and just a little um, discussions or comments that I have on that, I wanted to kind of refer back to the pilot episode and just say, we got that out of the way. We did do some reviewing, me and my content manager, and, we had technical difficulties and stuff like that. So, we kind of reschedule some things, rearrange some things so that I can be able to, kind of avoid those technical difficulties. But also, it was brought to my attention of how just me honing in on, what we need to do in the Black community and stuff like that, and how, that could have come off. So I wanted to address that real quick because this video, this series, this project, what I'm doing, it's for everyone. It's not just for the Black community, but me as a Black woman, I feel like it was my duty, my obligation to just kind of address the barriers that I've experienced and I felt that were in the Black community that was holding us back from being able to really take care of our mental health. And so I didn't want to go without saying that, especially in the, kind of pilot topic of shaking the stigma, because that's something I really relate to. So it's like, I really wanted to, it wasn't like a call out or anything like that. Even though it probably came off that way, it was definitely just like, I know what's a barrier in my community, and some people know that, some people may not realize it, but just want to say like, hey, as far as what I know, this is a barrier that we need to move out the way. Any other cultural background, any other race or anything like that, you may have similar barriers, you may have different barriers, but just being able to identify them and address them to be able to shake that stigma and be able to provide that space to be able to take care of your mental health, whatever the race, whatever the cultural background, whatever the socioeconomic status, that's important to be able to identify that and make sure that we got that situated. So, but to everyone, this is definitely for everyone. Like, this is by the people, for the people, for the people, by the people, like people, period. I don't care what that race, culture, background, economic status of that one person that I'm reaching out to, that I want to make sure I help. Like, whoever you are, like, this is for you. Like, there's no exclusion of anything or anyone. So with that being said, I want to jump into self-preservation. I had a few points, kind of like just like 3 little points about kind of going through what's okay. And I'm saying what's okay because these are things that I feel like we've learned that these things are not okay or frowned upon, or there's fear behind these different things. So the 3 things I want to talk about is it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to say no. And it's okay to take a break. So let's start off with it's okay to be selfish. I feel like I am one of the most selfless people on the face of this earth. I'm hoping that more recently that I am not. Like, I'm not saying that it's bad to be selfless, but I am saying that, we as people tend to, like, in certain situations, we tend to be so selfless that it harms our self-preservation. And that's something that's really important, that we want to make sure like we're self-preserving at all times. We don't want to hit a roadblock. We don't want to crash mentally, physically, any kind of health matter. Like we don't want to crash. We don't want to push too much on us till we just fall apart. So self-preserving, that's a very important thing. And there are things that we can do to make sure that we're self-preserving. And so being selfish is one of them. Knowing when to be selfish, knowing how to be selfish. I, for one, did not know, and I'm still learning how to be selfish. Okay. And telling myself it's okay to be selfish. Like, when people need you, like you want to be there. Everyone that's a caring person, they want to be there when someone needs them. They want to be able to say like, hey, I was there for my friend. I was there for my family. I was there, for my job. Like, these are things like I'm going to show up for you. I got a friend who, no matter what, I hit them up and I'm no time of the day, whatever. They're there. They're like, we're going to show up when we need to show up. And that is amazing to have people that can show up for you. Everybody can't really do that. So, those people out there who show up all the time, you're like, dang, you're always there for me. Like, those are some good people. Hold on to them. But it also goes knowing that those same people need to be selfish at times. Selfish with the material things that they have, selfish with their financials, selfish with their time, everything. Like, selfish with their energy. Like, that, it's okay. That's a part of self-preserving. So for me, just to get into what I struggled with, whether it was like family, friends, it didn't matter. I was not selfish at all. I would always be like, you know what? Yeah, I got you. Even if I know in the back of my head and the back of my heart, back of my mind, I'm like, ooh, I really can't do this right now, or I shouldn't. It's gonna hurt me. I don't really know how I'm gonna come out of this, but God is good all the time. God is good. The God, to my understanding, I will say that, because I know everybody has different religions or beliefs, but I definitely was to the point where I'm just like, I was sacrificing all the time. I sacrificed my time when I didn't have it, when I needed to be doing something else, or I needed to be resting. I sacrificed being able to rest my body after being tired to go and do something for a friend. Or I sacrificed, financials, knowing that it was my last, or I was already struggling, but I was just like, oof, I do not want them struggling. I'd rather it be me. And that'll take me from, my selfless self, that'll take me from being kind of okay to, okay, now I'm stressing financially, which, I mentioned in the pilot episode, like, that's one thing, that's financial stress is one thing that starts to affect your mental health. And that's through that self-preservation. Like, you're not, anything that you let get to your mental health, whether you realize it or not, that's taken from, or like kind of jabbing at your self-preservation. And so it's important to be able to to think more of yourself. And it's not that you're like, oh, I'm not worthy of this, I'm not worthy of that, but it's just like, you have to think more, like value yourself more, saying, no, I know they need help with this, but I need sleep. I'm not just laying around being lazy, not wanting to help, not doing anything. You're doing something. You're resting your body. Your body needs rest. Your body needs you. You need you. So, like, that's something that's really important. It's like, no, like, yes, you're resting, you're lying down, you are doing something for your body. You are restoring their energy to keep and maintain your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. It's like, you know, if you think about it, if you don't get rest, I've seen people break down and cry. They were so tired. That's messing with that emotional health. That turns around and that can mess with that, you know, mental health. You know, and then like the more you don't sleep and get that energy, and you know, everything can't keep up, and it gets weaker and more tired and harder. You know, your body gets more fatigued and harder to just keep up and maintain with what you're doing. Then yeah, your physical health coming after that. You know, you might have joints or something that's starting to get weaker because they just need to be replenished. They need that little rest to kind of pump back up for you, and they're not getting it, so they're straining and straining and straining until pop. You know, you end up hurting your back. You know, you end up pulling something in your leg. You know, you need you. So, you know, at times when, you know, somebody else needs you, it's okay to be selfish and say, well, you know, I need to do this, you know, or I just work 6 days straight. I really can't, you know, come out and help you move today. I need to really get some rest because my body's wearing on me. You know, you can be honest about it, or you won't have to get into detail. You just say, you know, I can't, you know. You don't have to say, no, you don't have to say all that. You can say as much as you want or as less as you want. But as long as you're basically saying, I have something to do, and being selfish enough to putting you before, you know, other requests or anything like that. And when it comes to money and loaning people something and stuff like that, when you got stuff that you know that you need to do, you know, being able to say, well, you know, I gotta do this, and it's okay that I don't help them. If I can help them after I get my stuff situated, then okay, maybe I will. But being able to put yourself first, being selfish is putting yourself first. You know, you gotta love you properly before you love anyone else properly. Like that's a real thing, because it'll get to a point where you love somebody else so much more, and you're putting them first all the time, to the point where you're gonna push yourself to not being capable of being there for them and loving them the way, well, you'll love them, but you know, being there for them the way that you want to, because you're just running yourself to the ground. So always put you first, be selfish, and that being selfish it segues into that, it's okay to say no. Being able to say no. Lord knows, I, after all these years, have just begun this year to really learn how to say no. I have a hard time saying no to people, especially my family. Oh my God, like my mom has done so much for me. She bent over backwards for me. I saw her, you know, work 2 jobs, just work so hard to provide for me and my siblings. And, you know, so when it comes to what my old lady want, nothing's gonna get in the way of that. I'll sacrifice anything for her. You know, she wouldn't want me to, you know, and it done been times where, you know, I kind of downplayed situations where I'm like, you know, I'm good, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm straight, and I do whatever for my mama. Because my mama, like, has and still does anything and everything for me. So that's one thing right there where I'm just like, man, I can never say no to the missus. I can never say no to Big Mama. Like, nah, that's not gonna happen. You know, siblings, different things like that. Not being able to say no to them. Like, nah, we all for each other. Like, I don't care what y'all need, whatever. I don't care what's going on with me. You know what I'm saying? I got y'all. I got my niece, nephew. Got, you know, this, that, and the third. Like, that's the thing. Like, family is everything to me. And I know a lot of people, like, so family oriented. They're just like, well, you know, and I hear it a lot. Like, people who grew up with me or whatever, like people with the same, like, similar cultural backgrounds, like sit up there and be like, yeah, we know how that family thing is. You're not saying no. You're not saying no. They raised you up, or they siblings or whoever they are, cousins, aunts, whatever, they family. So you're gonna do whatever. You're gonna make something shake. You're gonna make a way out of no way or whatever, to be there for them. And you're never gonna say no. Well, it's okay to say no to anybody, even your family. And the hard part is being able to feel okay about that. It's one thing to do it, to get yourself to say no when you need to. That whether it's same thing with being selfish, whether it's time, whether it's financials, everything is. The hard part is being able to say it. The hardest part after that is being able to not beat yourself up about it. And that's what I realized came, because it gets you to a point where you go back to saying yes, because you're just like, ooh, I said no to them. I let them down. God, I do not like that feeling. Like, I felt like I felt like I did whatever gonna happen from me not helping them. I feel like I did that to them. And you feel so guilty. You just start kicking yourself, and to the point where you're just like, I would rather say yes and deal with whatever than to feel this guilty or to feel this bad about not helping them. So you go right back to saying yes and being a yes man or being a yes woman. You gotta be able to, like, it's a duet type of thing. It's a duo. You gotta be able to learn how to say it. And you gotta learn how to be okay with saying it, not feeling bad about it. Even when, like, some people, them people that really just, you got to understand in people. You got people like you, like, nah, well, no, I can't do this. I'm sorry, not this time. And you got people like, I understand. Thank you anyway. You got them kind of people, which, it help you feel a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Cause they ain't upset. They know how it is. Whatever your reason is, that's your reason. And then you got the people that just like, oh, you can't do this for me? Oh, you can't do that. It's the guilt tripping, and oh, Lord, don't let me get on the guilt tripping. I got some people who, they should have a doctorate degree in guilt tripping. Cause you say no one time to them, you can be done said no. Yes. For years, you could have said yes, like, I got you, been there for them every break, every fall, everything, said yes. And the first moment you say no, it's like hell party. It's like something bad, and they're just like, oh, you just gonna do this, or oh, okay, I see how it is, or whatever to come out to make you feel worse. Those are the situations and the people where, one, it's like those people aren't there. They don't even want to allow you to self-preserve and be, there for yourself like that, and be a little bit selfish. You better say no. Like, they're like, no, that's a problem. And one thing is, they might not be used to it. You probably did it so long, and they're just like, what? They're just appalled. They're like, I'm used to this. This ain't the norm. I'm upset. What's wrong? Because they're so used to you just being there saying yes instead of no. So you just gotta break that habit. You gotta say no enough to where that you remove yourself from being they crutch. A lot of times you say yes to so many people. You there so much that this person hasn't really learned how to be there for themselves, which is important. Like, saying no helps you, and saying no can help the other person too. Like, I've seen it. I've done it. I've said no and finally, broke through and was able to say no and not feel too bad about it. I still feel a little bad. I care. But still, I'm trying to learn how to self-preserve. I'm trying to learn how to be selfish, say no, and take care of myself. Because at the end of the day, if I don't do that for myself, I won't be able to be there for them. But yeah, it gets to the point where, you know, you help them too, because they're like, okay, the one person that I expected to be there for me, that's always there for me, said no. And they open up their eyes, well, I gotta figure this out. Whereas they never had the opportunity to figure anything out, because you were always there. You were always the yes man. You was always the yes woman. You always was there, so they didn't have to think about it. They were like, oh, I need help with this. You provide whatever, or you help talk to whatever. You take the time to do this for me, or, you know, whatever it is. And there's no thought behind it. There's no more thought behind it, because you came to the rescue. And that's cool. But just removing yourself as a crutch will help them to be able to say, wait a minute, I don't have what I normally have. How do I do this on my own? How can I resolve this issue for myself? And then them having the opportunity to figure that out, to think about it, to resolve it for themselves, well, you just remove that crutch permanently. Because now they're like, okay, I did this myself. I resolved it. I figured this out myself this time. I can figure this out myself next time too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they'll always probably think like, I realize I cannot go to this person every single time, because there may come another time where this person will not be able to. And that takes a little security away. And I know it's like, oh man, you trying to, you know, make them feel like they can't count on me, this and third. Like, no, that's helping them be more independent. At the same time, it's helping you self-preserve, helping you be able to like do what you need to do for yourself instead of sacrificing for them. You know, it's a win-win. It may not feel like it at first. On both sides, it may not feel like it. But it's a win-win. It'll start to feel better. Like, I've had people come back to me when I finally did start saying no, and come back to me and it's like, you know, I did this, I figured this out for myself, and I did that. And I was like, I'm proud of you. That's good. I'm really proud of you. I've even said no to some people and literally said, I feel like I'm enabling you. I feel like I'm becoming a crutch. And I'm going to have to say no. You got to figure out how to do this by yourself. I can't, you know? And I probably could have, but it's because I realized that, and I was just like, no, I'm hurting them. I'm crippling them. That's not okay. And so I've done that to help others, you know, be more independent. I've even been on the receiving side. I've gotten help, and it was the first time I ever had help like that. You know, I'm usually the helper. I'm usually the one that's like, give. And I got in a situation where I needed help. And some of the people that I thought would be there for me weren't there for me. And surprisingly, you know, there was somebody that was there for me. And they helped. And it was such an unfamiliar feeling. I felt so weird about it. I was just like, nah, and they wouldn't take no for an answer because they knew me. And it happened so much and for so long, I started getting used to it. And to the point where I was just like, you know, whenever something, you know, messed up, went wrong or whatever, I ran to them like, oh, I need your help, you know. And I was doing it just like that. I realized that, you know, I allowed them to become my crutch. And I was like, whoa, that's not okay. And I think it was when they said no, or when I didn't hear from them for a little while, and then the time passed where I was trying to figure something out for, and I had to try to figure it out myself. And I realized, wow, I let them become my crutch. And I didn't like that one bit, realizing that I was like, I was so dependent on them where I've never been dependent. I've always been a very independent person, even an independent child. And I opened my eyes and I was like, "Ooh, I felt so dependent, and it felt so like I wasn't thinking. Like I got into the whole routine, like, you know, because they were just like, I'm there for you, whatever, this, one, and third, you going through this, like, I got you. You always helping people, I got you." And and it wasn't that they said no. It was that they weren't around at the time. And I was just like, it dawned on me like, whoa, you're just running, so you're not thinking about this, you're not trying to figure this out for yourself, you're not trying to figure out, you know, how to get out of this loop, you know. And I was just like, oh man, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, you try to help other people not be in, you know, situations like this, and here you are realizing I'm in one. And so that was an eye-opener for me, to the point where I was just like, yeah, no, I don't want your help no more. And so it kind of full circle on me. It was like, I don't want your help, forced the help on me. I got used to it. And then I realized like, like I don't want nobody to feel like I'm trying to take advantage or, you know, being too much. And I mean, you know, that's a really good friend, dear to my heart, would never think something like that. But, you know, with me, I'm just like, no, like that's not okay. So, you know, that came to an end, and I'm just like, no, figure this out for yourself. You know, you got it, you know, and if you don't, like, you know, tough it out. You'll be all right. And I was, and I am, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm so grateful for that person. That person helped me out in the darkest time of my life, one of the most darkest times of my life. But yeah, going through that, I realized that about me. Like, even I was on that side for a moment and had to wake back up. So yeah, it's definitely okay to say no. And if you take a baby step and can't say no, if somebody who you know like needs you and kind of got a routine, and especially people that like kind of like don't really say nothing until they need you, you know, that's kind of like that bittersweetness, because even though you know they just hitting you up when they need you, you glad to hear from them, but it's a shame because they only hit you up when they need you and not to like check up on you. And then we'll get into another episode about that, about, you know, the friendship, the relationship topic, the relationships in your life. But yeah, like, you know, you got those that come and you already know it. Like, if you're not at the point yet of being able to say no, don't pick up that phone. Don't respond to that text. Give them some time. I've done that. I've given people some time to try to figure it out on their own, you know, knowing that, hey, I became a crutch, and I probably wait like a couple days and then check up and be like, you know, you all right? You know, because if they ain't figured it out in a couple days and they really need help, I'd be like, all right, you know, what's up? But providing them the space and opportunity to try to figure it out, to try to get it together, you know, baby steps, you know, it works. And all the while you still preserving you. Like, you sometimes you can't just jump right into no, and that's understandable. And I'm so honest, I'll tell my friends, family, whoever, I'll be like, yeah, I waited, you know, a couple days to try to, you know, see if you're gonna situate that. If it was a deadline on it, you know, I'd probably wait up until like right before the deadline. And, you know, I know it sounds bad, but it's like, these are life-changing things. It helps them to be more independent. You know, I don't want to add like stress to them and stuff like that. But like, if you never say no, if you never try to like let them do it on their own, you know, then they never will. You know, it's like, you know, like they say, teach a man to fish. You know, I'm saying, if you catch the fish for them, fry it up, whatever, you know, they'll just come back to you to get another fried up fish that they can eat. But you teach a man to fish, they'll be able to provide for themselves, their family, and, you know, eat themselves, like be on their own dime. So that's important. I believe in it. My dad say something similar to that. He used to say something similar to that all the time. Grandma did too. I'm an old man, baby. Like, I listen to all the old folks. Y'all better listen to these little sayings that be saying. It got a lot of wisdom in them. But yeah, so that's all the jam pack of saying no and knowing that it's okay to say no, and seeing the good that comes out of saying no. And then the last one, we're at 30 minutes, but I do want to get into this one and make sure y'all kind of delve into the knowing that it's okay to take a break. This one right here is something that I've seen people. I admire these people that don't miss a day of school, don't miss a day of work, never take a vacation. I mean, they work like 6-7 days a week, and they just work. They go home, they go to sleep, or they hang out with family for a little bit, but I just never see people take a break. Even me, like I would work so much. It messed up a relationship I had in the past. I was never home. I got to the point where some days I worked like 23-hour shifts and was in grad school, and just doing a lot. And I'm just like going. I'm like, I don't need a break. I don't need a vacation. I don't need this. You might not feel like you need it, but sometimes it's just good too. You'll realize it after you took a break that you needed it. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh man, I feel a lot better coming back to work." They come walk back in just like, yeah, that was much needed. And didn't even think it. Like, at a job I was at one time, they were so about, humans being able to just be there for themselves and take the time that they need, and which is all about like a work-life balance. And something that was foreign to me. It was like, work-life balance. Nah, every job I've been to, these people it's work. But this one job, it was like, no, you need a work-life balance. They told me like I was out a lot because of different health issues or different things going on, and I came back and was working, and they were like, you need a vacation. And I was like, well, I was just out, for about a week or two dealing with this. And they were like, you were out for a week or two dealing with something. You weren't out on a vacation or staycation or resting or just, rebooting yourself, re-energizing yourself. You were doing something else. But like that break, whether it's a day, a week, 2 weeks, whether it's a vacation, a staycation, or just a mental day, or a sick day. It's bad I gotta say a sick day, because people will come to work sick, and I know that's something to mention around a time like this. People will come to work sick, so they won't miss that day, so they won't get that point. And I know a lot of times it's not the person. It's like the way the company is set up. So like, companies need to do better about their people, and I would go to say this. I'm a firm believer, as, a management professional, I'm a firm believer in, the employees are first. I know we always say the customers are always first, customers are always right. And the customers are really, really important. They're like, without customers, there is no business. But also, depending on the business, without employees, there is no business. There is no work. That like if you got a lot to do to be able to get to this customer and it's just you, how much you think you're gonna get out? That's your profit, that's your revenue. Getting it all out, having the employees to be able to help you push it on out. Like, it's a team effort. And I always say, when I look at my KPIs, I learned at an early age, in my early ages of like the professional part after undergrad. A manager told me like, well, our KPIs say the top number one is customers, but I like to go ahead and say behind the scenes that the top thing is the employees, because without them, you wouldn't be able to do a lot of this. And so, as a manager, that's something that is stuck with me. I value my employees. I don't even like calling them employees. I say my teammates. Because we all in this together. Like, I don't care that I'm the manager. Like, they call me, like, I was probably so many times the youngest one out of all of us, and here I am, the manager of all these people, and they will joke about me because I'm so young, and they'll be like, boss lady and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they know I had so much respect for them. If they needed time away to handle something, I gave it to them. There were no disciplinary actions, and I could tell. Mama ain't raised no fool. I know when somebody needs time and need to handle something versus somebody who just trying to miss a lot of days and still like keep their job, but they're not being responsible about the duties of their job. And being able to know, like, whatever they need, being able to listen to them when they struggling or frustrated about whatever on the job, not working them so hard, being able to keep, hiring people to make sure nobody's overworked, looking at auditing and realizing who's too overworked, who's just kind of getting by, getting over, because you got some people that's gonna work to the bone for you. You got some people that's gonna be like, man, I'm gonna fake it. They put more effort in faking working. So, I've managed over 100 plus employees, so I've seen all the personalities, all the work ethics. But yeah, just circling back, knowing that your employee, I put my employees first. And they gonna put the customers first for me. They gonna, be so happy about, hey, you're there for us. We got you. And they put the customers first. So I don't have to worry about it. So you gotta take care of your employees. So, and you as, the person on the job as an employee, take care of yourself. That job is gonna be there. If something happened to you, they're just gonna replace you with another warm body. Some people, you're just a number. And it's sad to say, it's harsh to say, but like it needs to be said. Like, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take a break when you need it. You need to take a mental day when you need it. Like, there's some stuff that happen on the job that you're just like, oh, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. That's not going to go away. That's going to always be a frustration. Sometimes you just need a mental day to be able to like recoup, and it'll never get to you if you're able to just be like, okay, I almost reached my point. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to snap on this supervisor tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, take a mental day. And the next time you come in, supervisors do something and irritate you, you're not going to snap because you kind of rebooted yourself. You kind of woo-sided out, relaxed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, things happen. Like, some things happen and some things, they don't go away. You can replace the supervisor 5-6 times. There's going to be something that probably happened wrong, or that you don't like with one of them, then another thing that you don't like with a different one. But knowing that, take your mental day and just, take some time to yourself. And then if you been working on a how long and just went so long and just like, well, I ain't got no money to go on no vacation, so ain't no sense of using my PTO. Go on a staycation. Like, sit at the house, barbecue, spend time with the family, like whatever it is, just get that rest, get that quality time in, and that was one thing for me. I sacrificed quality time with a significant other in the past and just worked so much, was trying to do everything and forgot about another very important aspect of my life, my romantic relationship. So that taking a break can benefit you in a lot of ways, in a lot of aspects of your life. And it's okay to do that. Like, we're people, we need time to just be people instead of workers. We need time to ourselves, be selfish. And that's okay too. And it's okay to say no. Like, all of these things, it's okay to do. If you haven't done it yet, or haven't even tried, or they're saying, oh, it's too hard, or I'll never say no, or this my family, whatever, like, just fathom the thought. That'll be the first step. Cause trust me, like folks been telling me to be selfish for years and years and say no, learning how to say no for years, taking a break for years and saying it's okay. And for years, I still was like, I can't, or I tried and it didn't work, or I tried and it did work, but I felt bad, and it goes in steps. So, but we had 40 minutes. I went over 30. I'm sorry, but I did want to cover everything. But like I said, self-preservation is very important. It's important for your mental, your emotional, and your physical health. It starts there. It starts with you being able to. You're the tool for everything for yourself. So definitely take care of that. Self-preserve. And these are just 3 things that you can start with, that you start thinking about. Being able to be selfish, knowing that it's okay, knowing that it's okay to say no, and knowing that it's okay to take a break in life. You know, life can be a lot, so take a break. Again, I am Shantari Burden. This has been Tari B Talks, episode number 1. Woo! With plenty more to come. This topic has been self-preservation. And again, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know what y'all think. Provide feedback. You know, I do evaluate, look at the feedback. My content manager does too. To be able to see how we can improve things with each episode that's coming. So, you know, each one, we're going to grow together. We're going to make sure we're reaching out together and giving whatever we need to, whatever y'all need. Even suggestions with the next topic. If y'all want me to go in more depth about whatever, like, I'm good to hear all that. I love constructive criticism. So yeah, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, if you like this, if you love this, if this helped in any way, like and subscribe for me. I'll be very much appreciated, and I will see you guys next Friday for the 2nd episode. So thank y'all so much for watching. God bless, and again, stay safe.